What's good, everybody? This is Shawnee. Excuse me one moment. Just give me one moment. Why is you doing all that screaming and hollering and tearing up stuff? Won't you calm down? Calm down, man. I mean, I feel what you're saying. I'm just saying though, like, you ain't gotta do all that. Like, I'm over here trying to talk about you, and every time I get on the camera, you over there just screaming. You feel me? Like, can I get 30 minutes? 30 minutes or so, something like that? I'm just saying though, like, you tearing up stuff, you killing folks and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. Like, come, 30 minutes, man, please. Please, can I get 30 minutes? Damn. But, okay, I don't care about you screaming and crying, so what? Okay, just leave. Leave then. And you messing up my stuff. Okay, I think I'm back on track. Before I was rudely interrupted. Okay, asshole, man. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean and you're watching on the... I can't even do my intro no more, man. I mean, he just... Thank you for coming back to the channel. What's good, everybody? This is Sean and you're watching On The Fly. And today I want to talk about Godzilla 0G minus or whatever. I don't even care no more, man. You just threw up my whole flow. You just threw off my whole flow. Anyways, what you're watching today is Godzilla, the review of it. Let me just start off by saying this. I had no intentions of going to see this movie. But the thing is, I kept getting so many reviews that been popping up on my channel, and I know it's been a while since I did a movie review and all that, but I just gotta say, man, the hype that surrounded this film right here, it was like one of those things. It was a no-brainer. Like, I had to go see the movie, you know what I'm saying? And people probably gonna disown me or something like that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The 1999 version, 1997, I think it came out, Godzilla, the American version, I really like that movie. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? The first when I seen it when I was a shorty, I was like, yeah, you know, whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, I really like that movie. I'm not gonna say it's like my top 20 movies of all time, you know, as far as what I like to see, but it's definitely in my top 100. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. If you wanna, you know what I'm saying, whatever, then it is what it is. But let's just go ahead and get to this movie. I don't wanna keep this going for too long because somebody just want to get their little whatever on, and I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand. Like, he doing too much. But besides that, let's just get to the review, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. Now, let me say this right now. This is gonna be a spoilers review. You know, I know that the movie just came out. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna give a date because ain't no telling when I'm gonna put this out. But today is Saturday, and it came out December 1st. So what, December 2nd? So whenever I get this out, hopefully I can get this done by the day, but you know, who knows, whatever. But let me just say this. I'm not a huge fan of Godzilla. I like the movies and I used to watch it back when I was a shorty, you know, all the stuff with the man in the rubber suit and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed it back then when I was a kid. But I was a kid. And then I do like monster movies, but I like to have like a good story. Sometimes I don't want to just see a destructive, you know, monster movie and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you see these fake plastic hand model buildings and stuff like that. But to be honest, man, this is by far the best Godzilla movie, probably even a monster movie that I have ever seen, like hands down. And then to make it so good that they had a really compelling story. Like, it was times in the movies where you just be like, dang, man, like, this is a really good story. And it almost takes you to a spot to where you don't even remember that you're actually watching a Godzilla movie. You're watching a, you know, like a movie after the World War or World War II or something like that in Japan or Tokyo, Osaka or something like that. And it just really, you know, pulls you into the film with the added bonus of Godzilla. Now, let me say this. I ain't even gonna tell you these people names. So I'm gonna just go by the main character, the little girl, the main woman and stuff like that. So the movie basically starts off with this main character. He's like, he flies into this spot. He's a pilot and he goes to this place and it's like a repair shop, but it's for like you know, fighter pilots. But the only thing is, he's a kamikaze pilot. And basically what that means is a kamikaze pilot, you're just supposed to sacrifice yourself for the country. Well, he was too shook. He didn't want to do that. So when he went to this island where they were supposed to repair his stuff, they basically saying like, hey, ain't no damages on your stuff. So, you know, you need to, you know, whatever, get back out there because you're going to be looked at as a coward. Dude is so shook because he don't want to be in the war. And it's just like, man, I'm just gonna hide. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. And then when the war dies down or whatever, then I'm gonna come back and act like I'm some type of war hero. But it was just something that was just really, really bugging him. It was a character in the film, let's just call him the mechanic. He was basically pleading with the main character like, man, I understand what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Because what's the point of fighting in a war that you know was certain death? And so dude was just kind of like, yeah, but at the same time, he felt really, really guilty because, you know, he was the only one that survived. He would be looked at as a coward, et cetera, et cetera. Well, in the midst of that, while they're on this island, Godzilla appears. And let me say this, Godzilla, look, I don't get scared about nothing, but Godzilla in this particular instance, when they first show him with the spotlight, it made something bubble in my stomach. I mean, I probably even dookied a little bit, you know what I'm saying, just to be honest with you, because it was so sudden and so terrifying at a split second that it just threw you off. And it's like, whoa, like that's really scary because what they did with the CGI was on point. And I think, to be honest with you, I don't even think they spent that much money on this movie. That's another thing, you know, you got all these big budget movies and stuff with they half-ass CGI and stuff. And I think like American wise, I don't know, man, yen and the dollar, I think it only cost maybe $30 million to make this movie, opposed to when you got movies like that's worth $200-something million that they use for CGI and it looks like terrible. Flash, you know, stuff like that. We're not gonna get into that, but it was so terrifying. And you thinking, okay, this is a Godzilla movie you see throughout the history, you know, it's like, you know, whatever. They actually show Godzilla eating folks and stepping on them and stuff like that. Crazy part is Godzilla is not this huge. I mean, he's still huge and big, but he's not like a freaking building big. You know, he's like about the size of he big, but he just not like skyscraper big. He's like the size of a house big, maybe a little bit taller and stuff, but he's not like a skyscraper big. Anywho, he just started wiping these folks out on this island. The main character, he dips off. And he goes with this other people with the mechanic, and they like, man, look, you're gonna have to shoot this thing or get to your gun. This the only thing that's gonna kill him. This, you know, your gun can kill anything. So they devised the plan. Dude got over there, and you know, as Godzilla was kind of roaming around, he got to the plane and he was getting ready to shoot, but for some reason he freezed. He froze. I don't want to say freeze. That sounds stupid. He froze, and because he didn't shoot, it caused the other mechanics and the other dudes to shoot to defend themselves, and then Godzilla just went crazy. He went nuts, massacred all them dudes. The only two survivors was the main character and the mechanic and stuff. And because of that, the mechanic like really disowned the main character. He pretty much told him like, you know what, all these dudes could have probably lived if you would have just shot the what's the name, because that gun is powerful. And he might have been right, because You don't know what the damage the thing could have did, but the dude froze up. Anywho, we get to it, and hold on, man.
Got a picture running right now?
No, go ahead, do what you gotta do.
Well, I'm gonna make a big splash.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Is it gonna go through your frame?
It's framed on me, you good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you good.
Alright, so make a splash.
All right, man.
Splash you, but you can be close.
No, you good.
You can be close.
Hey, Manny. Motherfuckers be doing, y'all ain't even gonna believe what happened, man. Motherfuckers be doing some weird stuff. Like, it was no reason for dude to come over here, but that's besides the point, you know. So let's get back to talking about the film, and you know, let's talk about the Godzilla film. So, dude, they make it off the island. I hope I ain't just skip past what was going on, but let's just speed it up. Dude gets off the island, and the only thing that is left is the mechanic, and the main character and the mechanic despises him. And so how he makes the guy feel bad, the main character, he gives them a picture. He gives the main character a picture of all the men that were serving on that little, you know, base and stuff, basically saying, you know, all these dudes wanted to do was go home, and you killed that because all you had to do was pretty much just shoot this thing and kill it. But because you didn't do that, all these dudes died. So it was like all for nothing. You froze up. You use a punk or whatever. So he just like completely just despised that dude. That's the setup, you know. So they go back home to a war-torn Tokyo or somewhere in Japan and stuff, and the place is just decimated from the actual war. It looks like crap. And the dude's family is gone. He got a neighbor who don't like him, who called him a coward because he was supposed to have been a kamikaze pilot. So he was supposed to fly to his death. And he was just like, he didn't really have the will to live, just to be honest with you and stuff. So he's on this market, he's collecting food, he's just trying to whatever, just live his life, you know. And he is faced with this. The things that I'm talking about, I'm speeding it up. I don't want to give everything away, but I just want to give you all a good idea of what's going on. He gets into, he is met with this one lady who, I guess she was stealing or something like that. And she has a baby. So in order for her to get away, she hands the main character the baby. And he looking like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I'm saying? And she dips off or whatever. So he's sitting over there waiting for her. She never comes. He like, man, I got to go ahead and take this baby with me because I can't just leave the baby all by lonesome. As he's leaving and stuff, and he goes down this little alley to go back home, he finds the lady, or should I say she finds him, like, dang, like you could have been got up and moved and stuff. Why you ain't abandoned the baby? He's like, what was I supposed to do? Like, this is a baby. And so with that, she seen that dude cared, and instead of her just leaving, you know, taking the baby and leaving, she goes with him. And he like, dude, you can't go with me. And she like, you ain't got no choice. And so the years go by. He's acting as a so-called husband, but not a husband. He's like taking care of the woman, and he's taking care of the baby, and he learns that the girl, you know, that's not her baby. And she basically took on the duties of a parent because the lady who is the actual parent begged her to take care of the kid, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that they could survive. And so she had no choice but to, you know, go ahead and take care of the kid. So he, you know, telling her like, you know, you can't stay with me. She ends up falling asleep. And then, you know, they slowly started building a relationship. He started taking care of the baby, started taking care of the woman, and they were acting as if they were a couple. They weren't intimate or anything like that, but they were acting, you know, she would do like the womanly duties and take care of the kids. He would go work somewhere, and he would, you know, bring home the bacon, and he would take care of the what's name. So after a while, you know, the years started building up, and they started, you know, building their lives back together and stuff, and everything was going good. And so everything was going good, you know what I'm saying? And so I think maybe 3 or 4 years has passed, and, you know, he's living a pretty decent life. Everything is pretty much going good, but in his mind, he's still being tormented by the things that happened in the war, and secondly, what happened on that island. Like, he's waking up with bad dreams. The girl is trying to figure out what's going on, but he won't tell. And, you know, people are starting to ask, like, you know, is that your lady and stuff? He like, nah, that's just somebody I live with, or that lives with me. And they looking like, dude, she's a beautiful woman. Well, who is this kid? Is this your kid, right? He like, no. And then he explained the story to how they just kind of came through and he just started taking care of him. And so you got people looking at him like, dude, like, you got a beautiful young lady. You know what I'm saying? You got a kid. Why don't you marry her and stuff? He like, man, I ain't on that. But of course, deep down, he messed up. He got a mad case of PTSD. He jacked up. I don't even know if it's from the war. It's from the actual Godzilla events. So speed it up. Godzilla, you motherfucker. You ain't, let me tell you something. You ain't about shit. Like, Godzilla comes, he's not provoked. He ain't looking for no food. Godzilla just comes in and just started tearing shit up. And you trying to wonder, like, well, damn, did they do something wrong to him? Is there another monster? Nope. Godzilla is a straight up asshole. I'm talking about asshole. And the bad thing about it is he comes to Tokyo and just starts destroying stuff. He is responsible for over 30,000 deaths. This fool just tearing up everything. If there's a big old skyscraper in the way, I'm knocking that shit over. If there's people in the streets, I'm stepping on that. If it's people, whatever, I'm eating on that. It's like, dude, like, what's the purpose? What is your point in doing this? You just being an asshole. Stop being an asshole. And so, basically, he finally leaves. It's all jacked up. And people just like, man, I can't believe this happened. Just like the war just happened 2-3 years prior. And now this dude done tore up our whole city again. Like, we got to rebuild again. All because dude wanted to be an asshole. Now, let me say this. With the special effects, the way they did his heat wave breath, his supersonic breath, fire. Because back in the days, you know, he just, and you know, he shoot out some stuff. Well, they actually show you how he charges up his little atomic blast or something like that, and he just decimates. I'm talking about destroys, like a Hiroshima, like a nuclear bomb. He just completely evaporates, destroys cities, nothing. And then the bad part about it is all of the force that he's generating from the front is hitting people from the sides and the back, and so he's doing like 2 times damage. Not only is he taking out what's in front of him, he's taking out everything on the side of him and in the back of him. And in the midst of that, the girl that he is so-called with, she gets caught in this little wave. She pushes him out the way and she dies. You know what I'm saying? Like, Godzilla completely wipes out the whole city and stuff like that. So now he just devastated. He has, his potential wife, she's gone. He ain't really got the will to live anymore and stuff like that. And he just like, damn, ain't nothing we could do. It's like every time I try to live my life and do whatever it is that I need to do, like this dude just keep ruining my life. Like you really feel bad for this dude. Like, because if you really think about it, anybody would be considered a coward. It's because, like, why would I want to go to a war, you know what I'm saying, where they just ship me off to die and stuff like that. So you just looking like, dude just want to live and stuff. He want to live a simple life, and he was pretty much put in war just to die. And he was just like, man, I don't know. He done lost his parents. He done lost his job. Everything he lost, and he had to rebuild. And then the thing that he was trying to build up to, he lost that as well. And so now he's stuck with caring for this little girl that's not even his own by himself. He don't know what to do. So of course, dude faints and all that kind of stuff. They have a funeral for his like the girl, and they try to devise this plan on how they can pretty much defeat Godzilla. And it's a lot of resent for the simple fact is because the United States is not helping, Japan government is not helping them, and so the fate of the world is basically in the hands of a few hundred men, possibly. And they looking like, well, why do we need to do this? Like, what's going on? Why ain't they helping us? They like, man, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Nobody has an answer. So they just had to devise a plan and see if they could try to kill or you know, try to kill Godzilla. So they come up with this plan, and they need this plane. They need to do all this, you know, plan. I don't want to ruin it or anything like that. But at the end of the day, they want to kill Godzilla. They tired of this dude. It's like, we got to stop this dude. And I completely agree. And let me tell you, if anybody was in this situation and you got a kid or anything like that you want to live, you're going to do the same thing, hands down. I mean, of course you might be shook, but it's like, okay, if we do something and we fail, then we just fail. At least we try. But if you don't do nothing at all, Godzilla coming back and he finna destroy all this stuff. So you might as well go ahead and try to do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, like, this is what's got to go on. You're gonna have to do whatever you got to do. So make a long story short, they devised this plan to try to capture Godzilla, sink him at the bottom, or sink him to the deepest part of the ocean, and because they can't really kill him, because everything that they use, it wasn't doing anything. Oh yeah, I forgot this part. This fool can straight up regenerate. I'm talking about like Wolverine Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? This dude was just like, anytime he get damaged, I feel like he was dead at one point when they did hit him with some stuff, and his mutation or whatever regenerated his cells and brought him back, and he came back even stronger. So it's like, dang, it's like, what can you do? Like, what can you do against this dude? So anywho, they came up with some type of plan where they was going to sink him to the bottom of the ocean, and something about density. I don't know about all that scientific stuff, but it sounded like a good ass plan. That's all I'm gonna say. It sounded like a good ass plan. So they devised this plan and stuff like that. They get him, and ultimately they were able to kill Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? So we think. Now, back when the movie was going on, they had got a telegram from the actual, like, they don't tell us where it is, but spoiler alert, they got a telegram, and it turns out that the dude's girl, or his to-be, she's actually alive in the hospital. So after they kill Godzilla, dude rushes to the hospital. And you know, she asks him, like, dude, like, is your war over? Like, you good? And for lack of a better words, he like, yeah. So now he can finally live this happy life. Like, he got a kid, he got his woman, or, you know, somebody that he really deeply cares for and stuff like that. Godzilla is dead, and he could live a normal life, and everybody going about their business. But at the end, it's not what everybody sees. So, like I told you, Godzilla has this healing power. And even though this dude is just pieces and stuff like that, his body is regenerating some type of way to let you know that there will be more of Godzilla in the what am I looking at? There will be more of Godzilla in the future and stuff. And then the movie ends. Now, I'm gonna say this. I don't know where this surge of Godzilla, like the last, let's just say roughly 10 years, it's been like Godzilla, like, extravaganza. You know, they came out with the 2 American versions. They came out with Kong versus Godzilla. I think they're coming out with a Kong versus Godzilla 2. You got the Monarchs, you got the Shin Godzilla, you got the movie. It's like, man, Godzilla is like really at the top of the chain. I don't know how they doing, you know, financially, and, you know, why is it a certain surge, but obviously Godzilla is doing really well amongst, you know, domestic and international. So I would have to say, go see this movie for sure. I mean, some people, now I will say this, everything is in Japanese, I guess, Japanese in a foreign language, and then you have to read the subtitles. No different than when you're watching an anime or something like that, or if you're deaf and you're looking at the closed captions. That won't distract you because it's clear. I mean, it's dialogue, but it's not a lot of dialogue. So I would have to say Godzilla -0 or something like that. It's definitely a good movie. You know what? I'm gonna say it's a 10 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? It is the best, let's just say, humongous movie that I've seen in a long time. Like, Godzilla is very menacing. He's scary. He an asshole. He there to tear some stuff up, and he ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So if you are, damn bird, man. I don't know if y'all can hear that bird, but that bird is annoying the hell out of me. So I'm gonna say this: if you are willing to, or if you are a fan of Godzilla, you want to see a monster movie and all this kind of stuff, I guarantee you will really, really like it. It does have a lot of dialogue, but it's good dialogue. I mean, not a lot of dialogue, but a sub story with the humans, because you know a lot of the movies with the big monsters, they got the humans and it just don't fit right. This one actually fits. You know, they in Japan or Tokyo, whatever, so they know what they're doing with their own properties and stuff like that. So for the most part, I would have to say 10 out of 10. Go watch the movie and you know, go check it out. So other than that, y'all post your comments down below. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all on the fly. Peace. Okay, you could do whatever you could do whatever you need to do. Okay? Go ahead, have at it. Have at it. I don't understand what's all the fuss and all the big deal, man. Like, you doing too much. You could have just let me get my shit off. I could have been done in 30 minutes or less and stuff. This thing end up being like an hour long or something like that. Like, dude, calm down, man. It ain't even gotta be like that. But you know what? Do whatever you gotta do, man. It is what it is, man. I'm gonna holler at you.